Welcome back to the bunker. As we try to keep natural light out and some artificial light on in here, let's talk about some, is it real or artificial news? So, Matt Duchene may not show up to training camp, or he may? I can't remember the last time that a player under contract said, I'm not coming to camp. It used to happen in the days when they try to renegotiate their contracts. Looking at you, Alexei Yashin. I want more money. I know what I agreed to, but I think I'm worth more. So I'm just going to sit at home until you give me more money. I'm going to blackmail you. Extort money from you. I don't think it's a good tactic, and I don't see that being what Duchene's doing. The interesting thing is, Gabriel Landeskog, in his comments, seemed to be of the mind that Matt should be there, and he hasn't talked to Matt. And I'm not as up to date on how hockey works, but in the days of social media, and I follow as many teams and as many players as possible to get a really good broad scope on what's going on. So I believe I follow every single team on Twitter. I follow a number of them on Instagram. I also follow the Ice Girls, because what's life without a little whimsy? And I find it odd that two of the core players for the Avalanche haven't talked about Hasty at camp. And it's not one of those things that I want to go off about and have some kind of a video where I say, oh, they're obviously not getting along, and make it look like something it's not. But I don't know how unusual that is for two core guys not to say, hey, I'll see you at training camp. I would think that in that kind of circumstance, that would be my response. My message to a teammate would be, see you at training camp. The Matt Duchene trade rumors have been everywhere. And I have no doubt in my mind that Matt Duchene himself has heard every single rumor from every single angle, and he's as sick of it as the rest of us. I don't want to project out and say he's going to sit out, because I really don't think he will. But I'd be very surprised if he's not sick of being asked the question, are you getting traded? Next question, where do you think you're going to go? These are silly questions to ask a guy when he's under the umbrella of the Colorado Avalanche. We can talk about how the team's a disaster all we want, and certainly it's a conversation I've had on this channel a few times, and I really think that there has to be a bounce back because it can't get any worse, and I think Duchene is going to be part of that bounce back. I don't see them as a playoff team, but they don't necessarily finish 31 out of 31 teams this year either. They need Matt Duchene. But more importantly, if Matt Duchene wants to have trade value, he needs to come into camp. See, this is the thing. Duchene sitting out doesn't mean that another team's going to look and say, oh, we'll trade for him now. He's coming off of what statistically was a poor season for him. And personally was a poor season for him. In terms of, you know, all of these rumors and all of this talk and all this crap going around. It was a bad year. I would imagine Matt's focus right now is on getting everything straightened out with himself and with the team. He's still a member of the Colorado Avalanche. He wouldn't be the first guy who was rumored to be on his way out of town that wasn't. And you can look no further in Colorado than Joe Sakic himself, who early on in his career there was some talk of, well, all Joe Sakic's known his whole career is losing. If the Quebec Nordiques are going to turn that corner, maybe they need to trade Joe Sakic and bring in a winner. And famously, I always talk about how Steve Yzerman was rumored to be on his way out of Detroit before they started winning Stanley Cups, and then there was no talk of it ever again. It's funny what winning will do, isn't it? If this was an Avalanche team that had won a Stanley Cup with Duchene and McKinnon and Landeskog up front, we're just saying, hey, he's late. But because the team has been such a traffic jam, traffic wreck, car wreck, any way you want to put it, it's this giant 25-car pileup, and they're trying to straighten it out. And Duchene is one of the main players for the team. He's one of the main reasons that they should bounce back. What if he doesn't want to be there? I can't see him holding out. I can't. He has millions of reasons not to hold out. So he's missed the start of training camp. He's not early to training camp. He hasn't missed training camp. And it's a voluntary skate in Denver yesterday that he missed. Now, should he have been there? Maybe. It's a voluntary skate. It's not like the preseason started yesterday. It's a voluntary skate. This is the danger of the offseason that's been as relatively dead as this offseason. Think about it. If it wasn't for Vegas and the expansion draft, how dead would this offseason have been? Bad. Really, really, really insanely bad. We'd have virtually no trades to talk about. Most of the trades that happened were fueled by pre-expansion, during expansion, and then post-expansion teams trading with Vegas. So, for me, I think Duchene's just waiting it out. I think he'll be there. I can't see him not reporting. I think this is one of those stories people are waiting for. I think people are waiting for a more public feud between Matt Duchene and Colorado management, and I don't see it coming. Because, again, a good way to drive down your trade value is to start calling out your team publicly. It's a bad idea. When you're a young player coming off of a poor season, you don't want to come off as a whiner either. Because there will be GMs who say, I don't want that influence in my locker room. So you guys can let me know what you think. Is it a story? Is it not a story? And, yeah, and you can hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. Over 17,000 people have seen the light and decided, even though the light's kind of dark and the room's kind of dark right now, they can see the light at the end of the tunnel that is this channel for hockey discussion, and they've hit the like button and the subscribe button. They may not have hit like, they may have just hit subscribe, but I do recommend both buttons. When I got a notification not too long ago that I had a video hit 1,000 likes for the first time, I genuinely got kind of giddy about it. That was kind of cool. So thank you to you people. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.